I guess I'll be the sword master of the Genaz. This is Sam.
I want a space pug. This is Jackie.
I make sure my inner monologue is shouting so mind readers can actually hear me. I'm Justin, and this is Dune on Stinger Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at these! No! What? Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper! Stinger Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinger Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. This is 1982. 1984's Dune, as requested by superior fan of the show, Jack B., who meets our Patreon requirements to request 2 movies a year. This is his second pick. The first was Who Killed Captain Alex, which we all loved.
Yeah.
And now we've been brought this controversial pick, one might say, because this is a very either well-loved or very hated movie.
Sure.
So here we are. We're back. We should mention we're back, too. We took a week off.
We took a week off.
Yeah, Jackie and I went to California and saw some Universal Studios stuff. It was cool. Go to Universal Studios if you get the chance. I highly recommend it if you're a movie fan.
Did you get to play Sega with Harrison Ford?
Sega! What?
No. I hear he's down there. Like,
Playing Sega?
Yeah.
Smoking a bunch of pot and playing some Sonic?
He can't figure out, like, the newer games. He smokes too much weed, and he's old. But he still likes Sega.
Get off my Sega.
Yeah, or get on my Sega. He's tired of playing Jurassic Park by himself. But it's only one player, Harrison Ford. Shit.
Smoke too much. Jackie, how was your trip to let's I know you're probably like dying to talk about Disneyland for a minute, but let's leave the evil empire out of it. I think everybody's pretty sick of Disney for a little bit. But then besides Universal Studios was the only place I went to. So I kind of needed, if I'm going to contribute to the conversation.
Well, it was my birthday.
It was? Happy birthday.
Yeah, that's why we were in California. And we spent my birthday at Universal.
Yeah.
Harry Potter World was super cool.
Yeah.
I imagine that if it wasn't at a theme park, it'd be a dirty shithole.
What, the Harry Potter World or
Harry Potter's World?
Why would it be a dirty shithole?
Because it's supposed to be a crowded city.
Okay.
And
London? Yeah, it's a pretty busy place.
It wasn't London we were in.
I thought that like there's 2 places in Harry Potter, and forgive me, everybody that's a fucking non-muggle, whatever you are, if you're a wizard. I thought that there was Hogwarts and London. Those are the only 2 places in Harry Potter's.
No, we were
land.
walking around the Witch Town.
There's a witch town?
Yeah, that's the Witch Town.
Which town is it?
Who's on first, right?
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
gonna
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up, Sam. I'm gonna say I liked, out of all the places that, all the little different theme park places, right?
Right.
I did like the Simpsons Land probably the best.
Okay.
We ate Krusty Burgers.
No, we ate Lard Lad donuts. That's the one.
Yeah, we did
between
have
the 2. Forget about Krusty Burger.
The Lard Lad donut was so big.
So good.
It was probably, I don't know, like a hand and a half across.
It was probably 4 donuts in one donut.
Yeah.
Like a donut cake?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
But it was a donut.
Mm-hmm.
It tasted just like a donut, but it was huge.
Really good.
And so that was pretty fun. And I got to take my picture with Count Dracula.
Yeah.
Who is my favorite.
Right.
And then we got to meet some celebrity dogs.
Yeah, some famous critters.
Yeah, we got to see the owls from Harry Potter.
Uh-huh.
And some show dog stars.
Yep. The girlfriend of the ludicrous dog was there doing tricks. The girlfriend, believe it or not, Daisy, is actually a boy dog. They shot around a giant penis.
I guess.
or they digitally it out or whatever.
No, they just didn't stick a camera right in front of a dog's dick.
Hey, we need to know.
Weird.
We need to check this for sure, if this one's got a vagina or not. Otherwise, this family movie is getting a little, I don't know,
Dicey.
dog gay.
Dog gay.
Wow. Okay. And we also got to see somebody being lit on fire.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, like the stunt where the cool thing is that, you know, there's two types of ways of doing that to protect your face. That you wear that mask, and sometimes it ends up in the shot and it looks like shit. Like, dude, why are you wearing a Mike Myers mask while being on fire? This one, they just poured the goo on her face and
Lit her on
lit
fire.
her ass on fire. And she was on fire for about 10 seconds.
14
seconds, yeah.
That's a long time to be on fire.
Yeah, especially in a place where a bunch of kids are around. I mean, you know, it's not like the kids are going to run up and be like, "Hey, lady, you're on fire." But I mean, like, 14 seconds is a long time to be on fire in a movie, in a controlled environment.
Yeah, I thought usually like those burns only go like 5 seconds or something like that. 14
exactly.
seconds is a really long time.
It was a really long time. She was on fire. It smelled bad. That's the thing that you don't get in the movie. It's like that, like, chemical smell almost.
When you're watching someone burn to death, you
Yeah.
don't get to smell them burn to death.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the smell, but it was neat.
And my favorite part of, we did the tour, the backstage tour type thing, where
Right.
you get on the little tram and it takes you around.
Yeah, all the sound stages and the sets and the outdoor facades.
And my favorite part of that was seeing Psycho.
The Bates Motel house.
They had the
yeah.
Bates Motel and the Bates
house.
Motel house.
Right.
And they had Mommy Dearest, or Mom, the
Norman's mother.
Norman's mom, up in the window of the house, and she was in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And they had a Norman Bates there, too, that chased our tram with a knife.
The cool thing I really like about Universal is everybody that works there is an actual actor, not a teenager that is essentially a glorified carny that also has to deliver some cheesy lines. Everybody's an actual professional actor that works there. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we saw the Waterworld show.
Oh, the Waterworld show was my favorite part, probably, and it's ironic because it's Waterworld and that movie sucks.
Yeah, I guess they just don't have anything to theme it after, because that's the thing, is that if you ever go to Universal Studios, you need to just go see the stunt show no matter what they're fucking calling it. But I think because it's Waterworld, it's turning some people off, and it's like, who gives a shit? It's just stunts. Go watch it.
It was packed.
It was packed. It was full.
And the lady that was the main gal of the water show, she is in the upcoming movie Us.
Oh, the Jordan Peele job. It's not an upcoming. It's out.
Oh, is it out now?
It killed it, of course.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we got to see her in person.
Yeah, I don't know what her role is or how deep she's involved with us. She could be just, one or two liner, but she was fine. Everybody acting was fine. Like, pretty good stuff. And the stunt work was dumb. Like, dangerous stunts. Which, I mean, you see stuff like that sometimes that, like, oh, this guy's gonna walk a tightrope, and it's like 3 feet off the ground. Whoa, danger! Like, what an amazing stunt you've done. Because there's kids involved, and if something goes wrong and somebody's head comes off, you've scarred this child for life. But they were really good stunts, huge explosions, and men falling off of like 40-foot walls into water, and not like diving, like flopping into it.
Yeah. It was quite the show.
Yeah, it was an experience.
And the middle of it gets kind of boring because, they're chasing each other around.
Yeah, the Mariner on his jet ski. And...
Yeah, it kind of got dumb. But then I was back in as soon as the plane crashed through the set and landed in the water.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool.
Yeah, I really liked Universal Studios. I would highly recommend it if you've never been.
And the wait times there are...
Minimal.
Yeah, it was, I think the longest we waited was 50 minutes to get on the Simpsons line
Didn't make sense.
ride.
Yeah.
And everywhere else, the ride line was like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas in Disneyland, we stood in line for an hour and a half
Hey, we weren't supposed to talk about that.
from the Evil Corporation.
Yeah.
For some of those rides. And you have to be there multiple days because there's no way you can get through all the rides.
Sucks.
Just because you're waiting in line.
Did you get to play in television with Michael Eisner?
No.
Or Sega with Harrison Ford. We need to probably talk about Dune at some point.
I'm not done talking about my birthday extravaganza.
Okay, we're going to be here all day.
And then, also on my birthday, I got a beautiful fish brooch.
Yeah. That's
The end.
Okay.
She lived happily ever after.
All right.
Sam, why don't you explain every possible thing you can
About Dune?
about Dune? Because what the fuck?
I'm going to give you the best abridged version I can, because if I wanted
Which
to
I think
talk
is what David Lynch gave us.
Yeah. Well, even then. If I wanted to talk about the history of this thing, I could spend 2 podcasts just doing that.
Just give us like the dirt.
This is the bare bones of things. Is that like the Herbert's Dune was super popular. I mean, it's the basis.
What year was Dune, the book?
1965.
Oh, so like right in the height of basically modern day science fiction's, golden era.
The second wave or the tail end, because I think that the golden era starts like 48, something like that.
Yeah, right in there with Heinlein and Asimov and Clarke and basically everybody.
And this one is, you watch the movie and you can there's heavy Christian religious under it. And it's not necessarily Christian because the sort of Messiah shit is in all sorts of different religions,
right.
But it's very heavily religion-based.
Yeah.
Versus some of the other science fiction. It's the basis, like if Star Wars is basically half Hidden Fortress and half Dune. Mm-hmm. Which is funny, too, because I think at one point Jodorowsky will accuse Star Wars of stealing his Dune ideas when they hired one of the same concept artists, and he clearly said he was basing it on the novel. It was like, no, I'm not copying you, Alejandro Jodorowsky, which is where we'll start.
Right.
So
with
in
Jodorowsky, interesting.
In 1973, Alejandro Jodorowsky is the first person that tries to do Dune as a film. Mm-hmm. He's bringing in Mobius, the comic, the artist, and then H.R. Geiger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about, Mobius, dude. That guy is fucking deadly.
Yeah, I think that he worked for Lucas on concept art.
Yeah, dude. What a... Whoa, that guy.
He was going to bring in Orson Welles and Salvador Dali.
Not Orson Welles.
And this is Orson Welles. Like, I just watched that They'll Love Me When I'm Dead. And this would have been Orson Welles at the bad Orson Welles.
Oh, yeah, drunk, very drunk Orson Welles.
Sometimes he would just sit around and eat fudge pops. Like, Sybil Shepherd was saying, like, it wasn't bad enough that he took over a wing of our house, because he just sort of moved in with her and Bogdanovich at one point.
I live with you now,
yeah,
Sybil.
But he would, like, bitch incessantly if there wasn't, like, copious amounts of fudge pops in every fucking fridge. And that's the Orson Welles that he's ready to bring in.
Right.
And then if that's not bad enough, Salvador Dali is like, well, I'll do it. I'll be the emperor, but I'm only going to do one shoot. So you have to build the set around me,
right,
and then build a toilet into it so I can just relieve myself whenever I want during this 16-hour marathon shoot that we're going to do.
Dolly as you can get right there.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if these are the sort of things, this is obviously never going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's a documentary you can actually watch about it, just called Jodorowsky's Dune, and the storyboards are pretty impressive.
Yeah,
like I don't even know if I would recommend one. I mean, the movie's fun because anything about Jodorowsky's fun, but if you could get your hands on the actual, I think they're selling the storyboards as a book, and it's pretty cool.
I've seen some of them. They are beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it never ends up happening. Dino gets his hands on it in 1976.
You mean Dino, I make it a picture de Laurentiis?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Dino, I wouldn't take a shit in a Fiat de Laurentiis. Yeah, he gets a
he's
hold
also Luigi's brother too, right?
No.
They get King Toadstool Adventures. What's that?
That's you dying.
Oh, my bad joke about being Mario.
If Dino De Laurentiis was Mario instead of Mario and Luigi, it would just stand still and the rest of the game would fuck off.
Mario, Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser again. And
So Dino gets Frank Herbert to actually write the script.
Oh, the author of the book. Wow. Okay.
And he was sort of in on it on the front end. He's like, yeah, I think this would be a good movie. Mm-hmm. 175 pages. So Ridley Scott decides to split the script in half and do it into 2 movies.
Ridley Scott?
Yeah, Ridley Scott gets on board at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just kind of snuck that in there, right?
Oh, yeah, sure you did.
So the first 76, when Dino first gets it, it's going to be Herbert writes the script, Ridley Scott does it. Things are taking too long. Shit looks like it's going to be too hard. Mm-hmm. Eventually, Scott's going to split, and he's going to do Blade Runner instead.
Good call.
Good call. Ironically, Sean Young is in both of these films.
I don't know.
She isn't in both.
No, I don't know if that's ironic. People
really,
need to eat.
Sure. Then it takes till about 1981 for anything to happen. The rights are about to run out because he's got 9 years on it. I think he renegotiates. And then Raffaella sees Elephant, De Laurentiis, his daughter.
Oh, right.
Who's going to be the named exec on this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, such films as Backdraft.
Ooh.
Black Dog that we just watched. Conan.
Yeah.
I think she was the named exec on Conan as well. So she sees not Eraserhead. She sees the Elephant Man, and she's like, we should get this guy to do it. And then that's David Lynch. He comes in, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. What is it? Is basically it. Because the way it reads is that, like, he has no interest in science fiction. He has no idea what Dune is. And it's like, you want to do this picture? Yeah, why not? And at this point, it's not like Dino has been hiding behind a rock and nobody knows. Like, and they clearly told him exactly how the production was going to go. Like, he had to know every fucking thing that was demanded of him going in.
Right.
And then when it happened, he was like, oh my God, this is ruining my life.
I thought they were exaggerating when they said Dino was a nightmare.
No, well, we'll get to that later. So it takes Lynch, he starts with a team of writers, at least 6 drafts to finally get to the script that they actually shoot.
It's not bad, I don't think.
They actually start filming in 1983 as a planned trilogy because Victoria Madsen, among other actors, had a 3-picture deal.
Virginia Madsen.
What did I call her?
Victoria.
Yeah. There we go.
She's great. I love Virginia Madsen. I do not like her brother.
I didn't realize that they were related.
Yep.
That's
interesting. Brother and sister.
How about that? They shot it in 1983. The work print supposedly is 4 hours long.
That's insane.
They cut it down to 3 hours. And then Dino's like, nobody's going to watch this. So they cut it down to 2 hours and 17 minutes because that's, I guess, as small as you could make it and still have the skeletal structure kind of make sense.
And still nobody watched it.
It didn't do horrible. It opens against Beverly Hills Cop, though.
Ooh.
Ouch. It got nut punched. And then they nut punched themselves again because with all the re-edits, they canceled most of the pre-screenings for critics.
Oh, boy.
So nobody would give it an endorsement going into its opening.
Yeah.
And it still did like 35-ish against a $40 million budget.
Yeah.
So on the TV release and whatever other deals, Dino made it back immediately.
Right.
Like he didn't lose money on this. And then you either love it or you hate it. That's like, no one really watched it. It didn't get like this huge response, but for whatever reason, it just built this thing.
It's a cult movie.
Yeah, there's
for sure.
People that like Dune, and I think a lot of them like the book, because this does really, they don't change a lot.
Yeah.
They change some stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't change a lot, and it is sort of like, if you know what's going on in the book, you kind of know these sentences that never lead anywhere that happen constantly throughout the film. But if you don't, it's still like something that, at a very simple, it's just this revenge piece that if you fluff off all these words and jargon and nonsense that doesn't go anywhere, you still have this sort of like little thing that happens that, you know, an 8-year-old can enjoy, perhaps.
I will avenge my father!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, I shouldn't because he killed himself.
Yeah.
I'm confused about my revenge.
But the thing is the cult following is large enough that there's been sort of, even Warner Brothers executives have wanted to do a director's cut, and Lynch won't even talk about the movie.
Yeah.
I guess it jarred him so emotionally that he was like, it almost ruined my career, it almost ruined my life. And then the little snippets that he says about it are things like, well, you know, I just started selling out. And it was like, that was when you signed with Dino.
Yes.
You didn't do that halfway through. You needed to do that at the beginning. That's when she comes up, and it's Raffaella de Laurentiis, and she says, would you like to make this movie? You just sold out, kid.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, when you made The Elephant Man for Mel Brooks, it was a good deal, and Mel's a real nice guy. Took his name off of it, obviously,
right.
so people wouldn't think it's a comedy.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was a great, pleasurable experience. Now you're making a $40 million science fiction piece for Dino De Laurentiis, you got to work fast, you got to do things on time, and you can't go over budget. And you did all of those things.
Yeah.
And they apparently made his life a living hell, but he probably made theirs a living hell.
Probably
as well.
it was an amicable relationship.
But you hear these stories like Raphael storming in, tearing out pages of the script, and then on re-edits, the three of them are together doing the final cut together.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you hate each other? It almost ruined his life.
Maybe they're all just professionals.
So the way he talks, he won't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's got to
he's a
just.
weird dude.
He's a weird dude, and so it obviously had to be so jarring that he would never want to talk to these people again. His next film is Blue Velvet, who produced it, Dino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it got stressful for him or something. I don't know.
There's a new one coming out
Yeah.
next year starring Jason Momoa and Zendaya. I believe that's how you say her name. Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Momoa's going to be Duncan, Idaho.
Wow, cool. Directed by Villanova. Villanova's good. Villanova. The basketball team. They're going to get together and dunk it on Dino.
And I looked to see, because he's going to do a two-parter. I was looking to see if they based it off of the original Frank Herbert script, but it doesn't look like they did.
Oh, so who? If Jason Momoa is not the main guy, who's the main guy?
What do you mean if Jason Momoa is not the main guy, Justin?
Wait, you think it's going to be the story of Duncan, Idaho?
Well, if you've ever read Dune, there's only one guy in every book, and it's Duncan, Idaho.
He doesn't make it very long in this movie. So
yeah, having not read the book, I'm like, Duncan, Idaho is a pretty small role.
He's about as inconsequential as any character can get.
If the story had a main character in the entire saga, it would be Duncan, Idaho.
Huh.
Yeah.
But I like that he's named Idaho.
Well, yeah, because you're from here. I mean, I guess it's a good name. It's kind of Indiana Jonesy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Josh Brolin's going to be Gurney. And Dave Bautista is going to be some guy named Beast. Oscar Isaac.
Raban.
Yeah. Stellan Skarsgård.
Who's Oscar Isaac?
RVR Bardem. Oscar Isaac is Duke.
So who the hell is Paul Atreides?
Timothy Chalamet. Oh, the guy that won the Academy Award 2 years ago.
Okay.
For the movie that Jackie liked, the Call Me By Your Name movie. Who was fantastic in that movie. I hated that movie.
Yeah.
Charlotte Rampling, Jackie likes her. That's all I got for you.
Sure.
So.
You were asking previously, not on the podcast, but like, what is Rafaela doing these days?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 2017, she did Backdraft 2.
Oh, what? That happened?
That happened.
Is anybody in it?
No, so
VOD? Or I mean, direct
yeah,
video?
so her last theatric release was Black Dog.
Oh man.
And then she took some breaks, and it seems like she just kind of like decides, I'm going to make some pictures, and then they're just shit direct-to-video DTV things.
Yeah.
But Backdraft 2 is her second to most recent. The other one just
we
wasn't
have
even.
to check that out.
Yeah, it's got to be bad.
It's got to be real bad.
It's got to be
First one's not very good.
Real bad.
Yeah.
But going back to Lynch and his whole fucking problems is like the tale of two Dinos and the tale of two Rafaelas. Rafaela produced Conan. I've watched the documentary. I've watched the commentary on that twice. And you know what I never heard John Milius say? Anything bad about Rafaela De Laurentiis. But he got shit done on time.
Yeah.
Serpico, Sidney Lumet, he was worried about working with De Laurentiis. Got everything done on time and he's like, he's a really nice man.
I don't get it.
You just gotta move fast.
I guess.
Huh. Not screw up. I mean, it's not like maybe it probably wasn't Lynch's fault. They shouldn't have put somebody right out of a $5 million production into a 40.
Right. Which still happens today. They usually flop. Jackie, when was the last time you watched Dune, or had you ever?
I watched it when I was a kid.
Okay. And?
I didn't like it when I was a kid.
Okay.
I thought it was dumb,
Yeah.
but my dad loves this movie.
Really?
And, so we watched it. You know, it was on all the time at our house.
Okay.
And
I guess it's good background noise.
yeah, well, I didn't give a shit. And, so I hadn't seen it in a long time. I remember the one little spittle of drool on the queen's face.
Yeah, that's a dick move, dude.
Because my brother used to do that to me.
Everybody's
Yucky.
brothers spit on their faces.
No,
didn't
he
do
would
that.
pin me
Mouth.
down.
Yes.
And the spit would drop from his
Right.
lips, and then he'd suck it back up, and then he'd do it
Everybody
again.
if you think that was your brother's, that he invented being a huge fucking prick, guess what? He didn't.
Yeah, it was Baron Harkonnen, apparently.
Baron Harkonnen.
He invented being a huge dick.
In the future.
He was gross.
Yeah, it is. I don't know that there's really any character more disgusting than this version of Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yeah, we'd have to think about that pretty hard.
He is gross.
He's grody.
As shit.
He's a grody guy. I will give this movie the makeup, the sets, the costumes. Everything looks fucking great, except for some of the special effects here and there.
Matte work gets
matte
bad.
work's pretty bad. But everything that's a physical piece in this movie looks great, especially his makeup.
His makeup's fantastic.
Yeah, so he's grody, sure, but dude, man, great job right there.
I always thought the still suits looked awesome when I was a kid.
What are the still suits?
The desert suit things.
Rubber
Oh, yeah.
jobbers that they breathe through
Yeah.
and stuff.
Those are cool looking.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart said it's the most uncomfortable thing he's ever had to wear
I bet.
ever.
Right.
But his ass looked great in it, so he didn't care.
That's what he said.
No, he said his whole body, but I embellished a little bit.
Talking about
And it's-
Captain Picard's ass.
I was looking for him too, and it still said because he's like, man, I look great, and then it's like, I don't think they got a full body shot of you in the final cut with that.
No, I don't think they did. But
He also said that everyone in the movie got at least 2 full scenes cut. Every fucking character.
Yeah.
Every actor.
yeah, he fucks off for quite a while. Anyways, are we ready to get into this?
Why the hell not?
Yeah, we gotta
There were no fist fights or anything
with.
on the movie set, Sam?
Not that I heard of.
What a
no.
weird question
There's a
from
few
you.
fist fights.
Random.
I don't know
You
that.
got
I
any
mean,
fist
does
fights?
David Lynch look like the kind of guy that starts fist fights?
No, he does
Which
not.
means that he is.
Yeah, he is.
You never
right.
expect him, right?
Yeah, him and John Cusack going at it.
That's what happened. Is he was like, "I'm gonna fist fight you, Rafaela De Laurentiis," and she fucking knocked his shit out.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
And then
like,
hugged it out afterwards.
hug it out. By the way, you're taking too long, so I'm just gonna rip some pages out of this script. Hurry the fuck up with this movie.
So hurry up the fuck up with this podcast. Here we go. Dune from 1984. The movie starts out with narration by Virginia Madsen, who is a disembodied head floating through space for some reason. But basically, the universe, the year is 10,191.
Yeah.
And the universe has an emperor, and who apparently seems to not have as much power as one would think a universal empire would. But there's one product that everybody goes bananas about called the spice.
Uh-huh.
And the spice only can be found on one planet,
Arrakis.
L.A.
Kashyyyk. L.A.?
I was thinking cocaine.
Yeah, it's druggish. I mean,
Yeah, you spark a doob of worm shit and you go into space, but for real?
but for
But for real.
maybe, I don't know. I got some questions about that, but
But
we'll
for
get
real.
there. People go gaga for the spice, and also it does allow space transportation, right?
Yeah, the Spacing Guild is the people that are putting pressure on the Emperor for certain things. The guilds have a lot of power. You kind of get it in the movie enough, right? Enough, but it's very heavily accentuated in the book, say.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Spacing Guild is putting some heat on the Emperor. Keep the spice going.
You gotta keep the spice flowing. He who controls the spice controls the universe.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
The dreamer has awakened.
That's not yet.
Yeah, that's not yet.
Oh.
But here's the problem: is that Kashyyyk, what's the planet called?
Arrakis.
Dune, as it were, is inhabited by a group of people called the Fremen.
Yep.
The Freeman.
Fremen.
And they aren't real keen on the mining, the fracking, as it were, of their planet, and it being exploited for the Emperor's not doing a real good job of
Sure.
being cool to these Fremen guys.
Well, there's also a point, like, early on in this whole bullshit, you're like, the Harkonnens are in charge of Dune. Mm-hmm. The Atreides are, like, cool guys that people like.
Right.
Because that's it. That's kind of all their thing is that they have their own little kingdom and planet, and people like them. So the Emperor's like, oh, people like that guy too much. So we need to get rid of him, so we're going to, take the Harkonnens.
They're basically Alderaans. They're Alderanians, as it were. Like,
Sure.
The Emperor doesn't
yeah.
like them because they're all handsome and
Yeah,
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
They have oceans and beaches and surfing.
Fountains.
I thought
He
that
doesn't want to go to the beach.
Yeah.
I thought that the dad, when I was a kid, was good looking.
The dad,
Bronson Brunch now? now.
The Duke.
Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan's father.
Yeah.
Duke Leto.
And then looking at him now, I'm like, oh no.
He's a bit of a gargoyle.
Yeah. And then I was like, maybe I liked the other guy. I don't know.
Who's the other guy? Kyle MacLachlan?
No, the
Most
rebel
of the
dude.
ladies did like Kyle MacLachlan.
Duncan, Idaho?
Duncan, dude, ladies fucking love Richard Jordan.
Yeah.
It's, again, with the Duncan Idaho's like, we got Richard Jordan.
To
do what?
To do what? I mean, I don't think I have a single note about Duncan Idaho until the one note.
Just so that I can beat it on the head.
That
Duncan Idaho really isn't even in this movie.
He appears to be a big deal, but never. He's like Biggs, kind of, or like Wedge. Like, dude, he's the guy. If you need to blow up a Death Star, well, guess what? You got to bring Biggs or Wedge with you.
Yeah, if you're gonna take over a desert planet and you know that it's a trap, you need Duncan Idaho.
Duncan fucking Idaho.
You know why?
And then Duncan Idaho does nothing
because he's a sword master of the genus.
Right?
Wait, what?
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 Exactly. No, he's just some guy.
He's
not
just
even in the
guy.
movie.
Let's go back to the Fremen and
Sure.
The planet. They have a prophecy that basically there's going to be a Neo someday. The one will show up.
Jesus or
and,
whoever.
Jesus, space Jesus, whatever. He's going to show up and he's going to have superpowers. He's going to have a really great smile, impeccable hair.
His hair is amazing.
And
I will, yeah.
Oh, I would kill for Kyle MacLachlan's hair.
I asked if he was wearing a wig at one point because it was just so perfectly coiffed.
Yeah, it's a coif. Indeed.
And I was like, wow, that there's not a single hair on that guy's head that is out of place.
Kyle MacLachlan should have an insurance policy on his goddamn hair.
Yeah.
And I mean, even as he's gotten, like, he's an old guy now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he still has more hair than I do.
No, his hair is dumb.
I'm like, I'm so jealous.
In the last shot of the movie, when it's a little bit longer and kind of brushy with the wind,
right?
Like, that was disappointing when I was 10 because I was like, my hair's never going to look that good in my whole life.
Damn you, Kyle MacLachlan,
Good
and your superior
God.
hair. So he's going to free them, the Neo, and they're going to be cool.
There's prophecies and messiahs.
Yeah.
Bam.
So the guild is like, we're sending an emissary to lecture you, Emperor, about keeping the spice flowing. And they show up, but they also are like spaceships. The guild of space travel are space travel. What the fuck are these alien things?
Why does it look like it has a vagina mouth?
It's got like, it's not even a good vagina
That's a
mouth.
human.
What? That's
the
a
navigator? Yeah. That's a human.
What?
Prolonged experience to the spice. He lives in a spice tank.
What?
Yes.
Oh, why does his mouth look like that?
Yeah, so he's just like, that smoke that's coming out of his vagina mouth is just spice. He's just like, yeah.
There are no alien life forms in the Dune universe. There's only humans.
How about that? I would have never guessed that. 'Cause he also like floats around and shit.
Yeah, he's got like these weird little arms, and I think he had legs.
Yeah, it's like a Bacta tank filled with spice, and he just lives in it all the time, and that's what happens.
Is that
so
like,
that would be like a cocaine tank for us.
Is that good?
Well, I guess you can actually fold space.
Yeah.
If
Why doesn't everybody do this?
Because you do. I won't look like that.
Well, yeah, but if you're so riddled with spice that you probably just don't even care what you look like. I'm
just gotta
I'm a wormhole. I'm literally a wormhole.
He's a wormhole maker, kind of.
I don't even know if because it seems to me like you go, the space travel on this shit is it's fantastic, and not in a good way.
He should have been like the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, he kind of is.
Where, he could smoke the pipe and it would just be the red spice just...
Yeah. What's that thing called? It's called something. It's not called a caterpillar. The Cheshire Cat, right?
No, that's a cat.
Oh.
It's just the caterpillar.
Okay. Well, I don't know shit. So the Emperor rattles off some information, like, purely for exposition here, about who the families are, all the planets, what's going on, who does what, and blah, blah, blah. Which is my beef with this movie, is like the exposition is so bad that I don't agree with you. It's not very clear of anything.
Kind of. Why we'll kind of maybe address that part at the end, because as I said, like, there's a bunch of stuff that they say that ultimately, for the grander scheme of things, just not in the Dune universe. If you read the books, this is all stuff that ties in.
Right.
If you're just watching this movie, this is all you know. These things are just cast aside. They don't really matter to what's actually happening.
Right, so you don't know what you're supposed to be paying attention to.
Until the end of the movie when you're like, well, all that really happened is this, and that happened. That's
a couple of families
Yeah.
got mad at each other and had a war.
Yeah, had a war.
What about the witches?
Yeah, there's fucking witches and witch prophecy. I mean, like not witch prophecy ? Like witch prophecy.
It's the same prophecy as the Fremen prophecy.
But yeah, it all ties together. And they there's gonna be.
Why did they have to be bald?
And they're like, there's a bad mother and a good mother of the witch. It's all very complex.
Yeah, why are they bald?
Probably because the hair gets in the way of their telepathy.
Yeah. Haven't you ever seen like Moondragon from the Marvel Universe? Professor X, he's bald. Put your hand up to your forehead. You don't want hair to get in the way.
I think they're bald because David Lynch wanted them to look bald.
Yeah.
I don't think they're bald in the books.
V'ger.
There's no heart plugs in the books, and the weirding way is totally different.
Persis Kambata, she was a telepath in Star Trek 1, wasn't she?
I thought she was like
the one with the Next Generation with Patrick Swayze's.
Patrick Swayze's Next Generation.
Pain don't hurt. Space.
God damn it! Why can't that be a show? You just space
one
trucking.
season.
Yeah.
But their telepath had it had Data and
Data wasn't a telepath.
Data
no,
was
but
an
their
android.
telepath on that.
Deanna Troi was not a telepath. She was an empath,
Yeah.
and her hair is almost as good as Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, she's got gray hair.
Yeah, see,
And-
she had hair.
Some other assets too.
The twins.
We saw her at the
Maria's-
Comic-Con last
Yeah,
year.
she looks great.
Maria
does
Sorta
look
still
good.
looks great.
She still looks great.
so pretty.
Yeah, and she's
Bitch.
super nice. Both of those people are just so fucking nice. Anyways, so we meet Paul Atreides. Is that
Paul Atreides.
Atreides, okay. Atreides! And he is the son of the Duke, who is the grand ruler or whatever of this planet Caladar?
Caladan.
Yeah.
And he starts doing the same thing that the Emperor was doing and telling him. I call it Tartuffing.
Tartuffing, yeah.
Have you ever read the play Tartuffe?
Yeah.
Yes.
At the very beginning
good.
of... Well, I mean, there's many things
No,
that
I
make
mean,
Tartuffe...
it's a very good metaphor.
Sure.
Simile.
And Tartuffe's amazing because of what it is, but at the same time, that's what it does is it has a character that is only there to tell you, the audience, directly who everyone is.
Yeah.
This movie Tartuffes for about half of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now we get to Paul Atreides, and he starts Tartuffing.
he's on the internet Tartuffing.
Yeah, he's like, Thurfer Highwatt, you are a Mentat. Gurney Halleck, my battle mat. And you're just like, oh my god. Because none of it matters by the end.
And then, like, at the end of he constantly talks to himself. Everybody basically talks to themselves in this movie as the narrator. Like, that's how the narrative is delivered, is inner monologue, and it drives me fucking crazy.
And again, it's like, this will get shed by the end of it. It doesn't really matter. I never really hated this part of it.
The
I thought it
inner
was just
monologue?
sort of a feel thing that he was going for.
Just
but
shut up.
yeah, with, in the context of the other story, it's like, who knows what? There's a lot of royalty intrigue bullshit happening.
Some of it is just such bad bad writing though too, because like some of the things that he says in his mind is like very not how inner monologue works. Like, I feel crappy right now.
Sometimes it's just regurgitated lines from other times.
Right.
It gets weird.
My mom is sad today. Good thing you told us that, bud, because that's what the actor's job is, to tell us with their face, not you in your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Butthole. Anyways.
Now he's brain tartuffing.
Yeah, he's brain tartuffing. God damn it. So Captain Picard comes in, and he's like, man, Captain Picard, that guy, love him. He hams it up pretty good right here, and then says to Paul that, hey bud, you're kind of a weenus.
Yeah.
Let's get some shield training happening. And
This
then he
was
proceeds
stupid.
to whip his ass.
They turn into... I thought this shit was sweet when I was 10.
Oh yeah.
They turn into like boxes, and then all of a sudden you're like, I want my MTV.
Exactly.
There was some bullshit on IMDb where somebody's like, this is the first time computer animation was used to make a human form. I was like, no, it's not. They did that.
Eat shit.
They did that in Looker in 1981, which is well before this.
Yeah.
Duh. And 2, That's not a human form. It's a fucking box.
It's a box. They're in cardboard boxes bashing into each other. It's like watching a bad bum fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you just covered yourself in like laundry and laundry bins and ran into each other, that's the style of battle that they're practicing.
I guess it's like a force field. Is that what they're wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Activated by a doorbell on their belt.
Yes.
Bing bong. Shields
Sorry,
up.
that's the wrong one.
I just filled my pants. So yeah, they fight, and Captain Picard whips his butt. So he's not quite super tough yet. But he's gonna go to Dune, or I guess the whole family is gonna go to Dune and like check up on things. Right?
They're moving.
They're moving to Dune?
They're moving to Dune.
What's their ambition?
So they don't. The Emperor hates Duke Leto, so he figures that he can get Baron Harkonnen to kill him if he muddles with the Harkonnens' control of Dune enough.
Okay.
So he puts him in charge specifically
so
that
the Emperor tasked him to do this.
Yeah, the Emperor's basically killing him with someone else's hand.
Okay.
And the Spacing Guild's fine as long as Paul gets killed too.
Right.
So they're in this together.
Because of their fountains and impeccable hair. Like, they're just too likable and nice and handsome. Get rid of them.
At what point do you just look around you and go, I don't want to move to the desert?
Right.
And you're just like, hey, I really appreciate you thinking of me.
I'm living in Alderaan, and I have to move to the desert.
Their house is right on the ocean.
It's just sand dunes.
With giant worms.
Yeah, Dune sucks.
Yeah, and they say things like, well, it's just too good of an opportunity to pass up. Living on a shithole desert mining because of what? Like, they live on a paradise and they're already rich as fuck.
You're doing pretty good, guys.
You're just going to say.
Maybe tell the Emperor, fuck off.
He would have told him to fuck off.
And then if you can't tell the Emperor to fuck off, then why is it that the fucking guild gets to tell him to do whatever they want him to do? He's really not that much of an emperor. You can tell him to fuck off.
Either that or you just send somebody in your stead.
Right. I'll send Bert.
Yeah.
Bert the sand guy.
Gurney Halleck.
Yeah.
Duncan, pick somebody.
No, Duncan I know is far too valuable. He's a sword master of the G-Nails.
I said to pick somebody.
Oh.
Like
Duncan.
he wouldn't even be like concerned with it. He'd be like, Duncan, just get somebody.
Yeah, he'll pick somebody. Steve,
the sword master of
he doesn't have to be a sword master. He's just a bean counter.
Des Moines.
Yeah. Steve's been down there peeling onions long enough.
Yeah.
Time for him to move up in the world.
Got a job for you.
Okay, so they're headed there, and that's why he's got to get tougher. He's got to really, it's going to be a hard life on Dune, but you got to quit being such a weenus. And so here's your arm laser, and I want you to fight this robot that lives in your ceiling.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe this, and they're doing this for the weirding way instead of... So that's what we got. We got these blasters and voice boxes.
Yeah, right. He doesn't even really use the weirding way when he fights this robot that lives in the ceiling.
He's just not ha-chawing very loud. He's just like, zah, zoop.
Yeah, I thought he was just doing, like, action sounds like, huh.
Yeah, but he's good at it, so he doesn't have to, like, do ha-chaw every time, I guess.
Okay.
So
I didn't even know that was the weirding way. I thought he was just shooting a friggin' laser.
They put the weirding module on him there, and this is their first glimpse of this version of the weirding way.
Oh my god!
And it seems to me like this is a new invention for these people.
The robot or the weirding way?
The weirding way.
Yeah, the robot's just a repurposed pleasure model.
Yeah, right. That's
used
why
to
it
have
was in the
other
ceiling.
things that come out.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Right above your bed. Why do you think it's like a new thing, the weirding way?
Because they keep talking about how they had developed this new weapon that uses voice sound control.
It's Alexa of fighting.
Because I think Thurfer Highwatt says so in this scene.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense then.
He tartuffes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking that they were on the right track. The thing that I liked the most visually about this movie was the floating lights.
Yeah, floating lights are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
like
were really
ceiling lights.
They were really
float around.
pretty.
There's one shot where you can see that they had the strings off kilter and one of them's kind of wobbly and it's in the shot for too long. You wonder how a movie, because
They blew it.
get 2 hours cut out of it and leaves that shit in.
Dino would have made so much more money if they hadn't fucked that part up. Dang it. So his mom swings by, and his mom's pretty hot, and she's like 6 years older than him, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. But anyways, she's like, hey, let's go over here and talk to this witch lady. And the witch lady's like, hey, you're a bad mom because you're pregnant with if it's a male, it's going to be the super being. And Paul's confused about what the super being is, and he's like, I have superpowers? I don't even fucking know what's going on right here.
Yeah, that part you went too far, because she's just like, you were supposed to have a daughter so that we could
marry her off to so-and-so.
To Fade Routha.
Right.
And then
King Joffrey, as it were.
Breed. And then that baby will be the super being.
The baby of her granddaughter or grandson would be the super being. What's the super being?
The Quetzat Satarak.
It does not answer a question.
It's the Quetzat Satarak.
Give a dog a bone, the soul man came rolling home.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
You got to put it in a song, and then I understand, Sam.
Or you say it like Alicia Witt at the end. He is the Quetzat Satarak.
How can this be possible?
So it's the one of prophecy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Quetzat Satarak is their messiah name.
Why can't Kyle MacLachlan, why isn't the witch be like, we already had a son, maybe it's this guy?
That's what she's here for. She's hoping he's not.
But
she's hoping he is.
She's pissed at mom. Like, you fucked this shit up, lady.
She betrayed the order of the Bene Gesserit.
But I didn't. I spit out a son first. And he seems like he's pretty weird, so maybe you should see if he's the super being before lecturing me about my shit, bitch. Coming here, telling me how to fucking make babies?
Yeah.
What are you up to? What are you doing that's so goddamn important?
That's also sort of the thing that is glossed over no matter how you argue about this part of Dune, whether you know the 1,000 years it took to do this beforehand, or you don't, and it's just this. No one ever goes, wait, you just pick what sex your baby is?
Yeah, that too. yeah, I mean, you just, okay.
Yeah, put it in me. It's a boy. I want a boy. Okay. Wait, you're pregnant? Yeah. Oh.
Maybe you could do that with the Quetzat Satarak thing. I want a Quetzat Satarak.
Do you have one of those?
Yeah.
No. Do you have a Cuisinart?
Yeah. Well, you give birth to a Cuisinart. So he goes to the witch for observation.
Yeah.
To I guess determine the power, how sweet he is.
Yeah.
And she's like, here, stick your hand in this box. And now imagine it being on fire. I'm going to make you think that it's on fire and your hand's burning. But if you take your hand out of the box, I'm going to poke you in the neck with the sewing needle and you're going to bleed out, I guess.
No, she already poked him. She's poisoned him. The poison only works if he gets scared. In a roundabout way.
So why don't you just casually take your hand out of the box? This is dumb, bitch. Go away.
No, because then you die.
But he's not scared. What's he going to die of? If the poison... But he's not scared. He's just like, know. I have better things to do.
She's a space witch with a magic needle.
All right.
Yeah, shut up, Justin.
It is almost... like the similarities between this and the lie scene in Fight Club is like, whoa, boy.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of when I was a kid.
Hey, Fincher, maybe got some problems there. Like stealing David Lynch's shit. David Finch. He's even stealing his name.
Yeah. And then doing better movies.
And then making better movies. Go ahead, Jack. When you were a kid.
When I was a kid, this whole scene reminded me of when you put on the blindfold and you stuck your hand in the mystery bowl.
Or it also reminds me of the thing in Flash Gordon that you stick your hand in. The little monster that lives in the tree thing. Isn't that a test of one's vigor in Flash Gordon? The tree of vigor testing?
The tree of vigor testing? I don't remember anything about Flash Gordon other than it had a dickhead for the lead.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm just going to say, since you brought up the Flash Gordon, Toto did not do a good job in this movie.
No, not compared to Queen, obviously.
Yeah, the band Toto is, responsible for the music in this movie.
It does say music by Toto in the opening credits.
They, by guild laws, had to pay him that. The only song they do is at the end. The theme is Brian Eno.
Yeah, and that's the only piece of the score is that theme.
Yeah.
So Toto didn't fucking do the music for the film.
Maybe they came in and did some instrumental touch-ups to it or something.
I think it's just more Toto bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
they were like, well, Flash Gordon did pretty good.
Shh, don't tell anybody we suck type stuff.
They were like, oh, we can't play the Rain in Africa song when it starts raining. That's what they were going to do. They were like, we'll put that Rain Down in Africa song for the end of the movie when it starts raining, right?
I miss the rains down in Arrakis, even though it's never rained here before.
Yeah, right.
That's the good lyrics.
Still miss them. Boy, miss that rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not raining, ever.
Toto blew it.
Toto fucking sucks. Toto blows it every time. I got a question about Toto later. Okay, believe it or not. So he passes the test. She's like, wow, your fucking hand powers are amazing because you didn't get scared even though your hand was on fire and you know, focused on the pain like fucking Cornelius does, whatever.
You lasted a long time, longer than anybody. Maybe you're the one.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that's what his mom says to his dad.
No.
You've lasted the longest. Ooh, la, la.
She says,
what?
It's a boy.
Really? There's like a weird sex scene with them later, like flashback in her head where she's like, oh, and then it has no context to anything at all. So I imagine she likes to bone his dad quite a bit.
She's his concubine.
What?
Yeah.
They're not married?
Nope.
Get the fuck out of town. I had no idea. I thought they loved each other.
They did.
They do. That's why he doesn't have...
You can't love a concubine?
He does, and he doesn't have any other ones, and he's not married.
That's some fucking Thomas Jefferson shit right there.
That's also
not
like
cool, bro.
Off screen, I guess. We'll call all of these things that happen in Dune, not in the movie, just off screen. Off screen, that's one of the reasons why the Emperor's mad at him. And actually, Baron Harkonnen is her father, and the Best is her mother. And that's why he's got the pustules, because the witch lady poisoned him after he raped her, put Jessica in her, and then she stuck him in there so that she could have the Quinset Saturek. And you're like, what?
Man, you can't have a slave and love, like, well, I love you. You're still a slave. I mean, because if I know, a great man once said, if you love somebody, set them free, 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 set them free. It's Sting, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Sting's in this movie.
He is in this
oh,
movie.
yeah.
If you love somebody. I don't like that song very much.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Okay.
But that would explain why you were making fun of the movie when he's the dad is wandering around going, I should have married you, Jessica.
Yeah.
Right. I don't fucking. Wow, man, you can't.
He could have married her.
Concubine, come on.
He was trying not to piss off the Emperor, I guess, which didn't work because he's pretty pissed still.
He's pretty pissed. He's sending you to your death. Anyways, the witch is like, hey, guess what? Your slave master's gonna die on Dune, and she's upset about it, which she should be like, fucking sweet, dude. That asshole should have set me free years ago. Being a concubine is a fucking joke.
But she loves him.
But I love him because I guess that's fucking cool. Dude.
She has that voice, so you know that they don't have fights about the trash and shit like that.
She's got the weirding way.
Yeah, she's
because she's just like, hey, take out the trash.
Right.
And he goes, I can't help myself. You're going to go take out the trash.
Who's the slave and who's the master?
She's like, buy me something.
But she's really just a slave to the Bene Gesserit mother because she's the one that put her in that situation. So Dirk Leto has set her free with love.
I also heard she's a slave to the dance floor. CNC Music Factory hopping on.
She doesn't look like much of a dancer.
No, she doesn't.
Maybe she is. Who's to say?
Anyways, so cut to planet Giddy Prime, where Brad Dourif, always good to see Brad Dourif. He's got what is his job? Is he like
He's the mentat for the Baron Harkonnen.
What's a mentat?
A mentat is a human computer. That's why they have the stained lips. They drink that shit, and it's like speed, basically.
Is a mentat also one of those things where like you sit on a bench in your suit, but it's a freshly painted suit, so you pop some mentats, and then everything's better?
Fresh goes better. Mentat freshness. Fresh goes better with human calculator.
Yeah. Well done, sir.
Off screen, if you want to know why humans are calculators, is because the year 10,000, and 10,000 is the year 10,000 years from Terminator 2, us winning the world war. Everything's analog because AI.
Oh, so it's not 10,000 AD. It's 10,000
years
after Terminator War.
Yeah.
After John Connor finally can fuck off.
After we finally beat Skynet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off screen.
I don't think we're winning that war, dude. Those Terminators seem pretty tough.
Yeah, but they didn't have fucking worm shit that you smoked a doob and traveled through space and probably like shot rays at him or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the Terminator doesn't care about spice.
Yeah. I don't think they won the war against the machines. The machines just got tired of killing us and then fucked off for a while.
They ran out of spare parts.
Yeah.
Went over there.
Yeah, went over there.
Okay. So he goes up to the Baron, and the Baron's he's like, I got a message for you, sir. This Atreides guy thinks you're a total prick and wants you to know that. And so the Baron's like, dude, not cool, bro. We're going to kick his ass.
Maybe. This is all indistinguishable as I have seen this movie a bunch. I got no idea what's going on here.
What? Bring in the cockhammers. Let's get those cockhammers in here.
They do.
And that's when Sting fucking comes in.
Yeah.
With the largest cock piece you've ever seen on a character.
Let's get into Sting. I mean, whatever we say here, guys, is okay with me because I do not like Sting. I think he is a fucking tool bag.
I don't really care one way or the other about Sting.
Great bass player.
But
what a jackass he is in this movie.
Oh, yep.
I mean, giant cock piece. He doesn't really have any lines, but it's just like...
He stares right at the camera when he comes in.
Like, hey, ladies, what do you think about this?
And he's giving that little smarmy smile, like, you know you're looking at it.
I can fuck for 10 hours. Did you hear about that?
I am looking at your large cock piece that you've had strapped onto yourself. And then, like, later on in the film, he comes out with, like, this weird boomerang thing for underwear
a
on.
mankini.
he was supposed to be naked, but at the last minute, Warner was like,
Oh, a little Sting dick?
Yeah.
I think Sting's packing heat. I mean, obviously
He must have been packing enough to say yes to just go, hey, here's my wiener.
Yeah. The ladies love Sting. I mean, he was pretty much the sexiest man on the planet. It just turned out he was a huge fucking tool at the same time.
I never thought that Sting was hot or handsome.
Oh, the ladies loved the Sting.
Okay. Well, I don't see the appeal, but whatever.
Huh. Okay. Ladies.
Chime in.
Anyway, so he also has another guy. What are these guys called?
So Fade Routha.
Uh-huh. Are they like bounty hunters or
No, they're the nephews of the Baron.
Oh, okay.
Who doesn't have his own children other than Jessica, which is unknown because he's homosexual. Doesn't really come out in this.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, Fade Routha and the Beast Raban.
Okay.
The Beast. He doesn't have like a real name. He has the Beast Raban.
I kind of thought that he was raping the flower kid.
He was raping him.
Yeah,
to
there was
death.
a little. Yeah,
that's longer. There's like, according to David Lynch, there's no other cuts, and he's never going to revisit. I've seen like 3 different cuts of this movie. They're out there, bud. Anyway, there's a longer cut of this that is really grotesque.
Yeah, he like is like, okay, go kick some ass to nephews of mine, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm gonna hit a button on my jumpsuit and float up into the air like a fucking like when Mario gets the balloon power in Super Mario World, you can float around. That's what he's like. He's just like a floaty fucking balloon guy.
He's gross.
Well, he's grotesque, but why?
And you're so fucking lazy that you got to fly around in your fake Michael Jackson
it's not even flying.
jacket.
It's not even flying. It's just floating. He's a balloon man.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah, he's bad shit too. He like goes up and gets some oil on him.
I think that's supposed to be blood.
It looks like oil.
It's oil.
Yeah.
I don't know why he oils up to kill a guy, but he does. He oils up, then he unplugs a dude's heart.
Yeah, these guys have heart plugs.
Yeah, that's a movie only.
What the fuck is that?
Just little things to make him more gross and evil.
Yeah, but like, is that everybody or just
Everybody
people that
that's
works
not
for him?
Royal. Or-
Everybody on the planet has a heart plug so that he can just, if I feel like it,
Yep.
You know, get out the old wine glass and have a cup.
Yeah.
You're like Franzia, the person.
How long have you worked here, Pete? Gonna have to let you go.
I can't file for unemployment because I'm dead.
Wait a second. I just did a bad boss move. He's the guy that mops, and I pulled out his heart plug. Who's gonna mop that up? Oh, no.
Who watches the Watchmen? Who janitors the janitor?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the Atreides family, they disembark. They bring their pug, like this fucking dog. What the fuck is going on with this dog?
The dog just shows up here and there.
What?
This dog's got like cameos all over the place in this movie.
Yeah,
in
there's
fights.
One time where there's just some guy that's dead on the stairs, and the dog's there.
This dog's just like, hey, what's up?
The dog is never addressed.
No.
It has no name. Like, be sure to bring Scrappy. Nothing like that. It's just, you know what? Let's put a
There.
dog in the shot.
Yeah, there's a
Patrick
dog.
Stewart carries him off to war.
Right.
It doesn't mention, like, he has a, and it's not like he's got him under his arm or the dog's running next to him. He's got him stuffed in his shirt. And he leads a battle charge with a dog's head coming out of his chest.
I gotta
It
keep
is
him warm.
ridiculous.
It is so weird. So they go into they go up with the Spice Guild people.
They go into, yeah, it's like an O'Neill cylinder.
An
So
O'Neill
that-
cylinder.
Like a space station that's big enough to have its own gravity in that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's like a O'Neill cylinder. It's spinning. It's like its own fucking planet almost,
Pretty
right?
much, pretty much.
So they have, thousands and thousands of spaceships that load into this, and then that's when the human thing that looks like a bunt cake baby or something
Butt cake baby.
with a vagina mouth,
Right.
But it's like a weird vagina. Not even.
It's a bad
weird.
vagina.
It's an old, used up one.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
like the vagina that you see at the porn store. Not on the porn
The
internet,
porn
but when
store.
you back in the day you would go to the porn store and you'd see the other magazines that are available. You're like, God damn, lady.
Oh yeah, no.
Man.
I had a roommate that would buy the like the ripped off cover stacks,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the bag, like, oh,
Yeah.
you get $10. Look at all these porno bags. You're like, these are gross as hell.
Gross. That lady needs surgery, or she had surgery.
Surgery or something.
What is that?
That guy's balls are really weird.
There's 3 of them. Okay, so
No, that's just an ingrown hair.
that's the size of a nut, Jackie. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I've watched Dr. Pimple Popper, okay?
What?
And you can get
Oh no,
That's
ingrown hairs that are the size of a fucking ball.
That's
that's
not
not good.
good
Yeah.
at all. You need to see somebody
All
about that.
all the pus and everything just
Okay,
keeps
stop.
building
Ah,
up
man.
underneath it.
You just got grosser than Baron Harkonnen. How did you even do that? How
Sorry.
did you do that?
Sorry.
Okay. So somehow the Space Guild transports them across the universe onto Dune. I don't fucking really get it.
So yeah, they fold space.
Right, because
then they-
it's high on drugs. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's how it works.
Okay. So now they're over on Dune, and
Regretting their decision immediately.
yeah, it's not a nice place. But we're gonna skip a little bit of dialogue here because it's pretty boring. And they proceed with their mining inspection. They're gonna go
Sure.
check out one of the harvesters, as it were, that's harvests the spice. But there's also been some sabotage attempts that fortunately everybody's blocked, and I don't.
The sabotage devices.
Right.
So the guy pulls out this box that's sort of looking like the art department made some effort there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, we found another sabotage device. We're finding these sabotage devices too easily.
Right.
What the it's not sabotage, it's a sabotage device?
Yeah, it's a wooden shoe.
But what does it do? Sabotage.
Sabotages.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
It plays the coolest song on the planet by the Beastie Boys. And then you fly around space and fight aliens while you're blasting it on your Starship Enterprise.
I guess you turn on your defenses, and instead of all of the defenses being awesome, it just goes, wah, wah. Oh no, sabotage devices.
Okay, so on the way to the harvester, they get worm sign. It's like movie sign.
Yeah, well, that's where all that came from. Like, Again, there's some fans of
really?
some fans. Yeah, Joel's a fan of Dune.
Okay. Yeah, they get worm sign, and they're like, worm is on the way to the harvester, and they're like, oh, we got 8 minutes, and the people are like, well, we gotta get all this spice. The spice is great, man. And Captain Picard's like, no, get out of there. And they pick him up, or they don't pick him up. They're like, evacuate the thing. Well, I don't know where these people go.
They were supposed to, their big ship's supposed to come and pick him up, but it's like delayed or something. I don't know.
So where do they go? They just walk
They
around the
ran
desert?
into the ship that they're on.
They're on a little 4-man shuttle. There's no room.
They did, and he said, we're going to be heavy here, and Duke Leto's like, run, run. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie. It's weird how all these actors, like, other than the Baron, who is on full blast all the time,
Right.
everybody else is sort of like not quite 100%, but then every once in a while, they're 200%.
Yeah,
And
I
this
don't
is-
know, man. I think there's some pretty wacky performances here that we're going to
Dreef
talk about
is
later.
awesome.
Yeah. So the sandworm comes up, and it eats the harvester, and it explodes it in its mouth because... Why?
It doesn't like vibrations.
Okay, so it's a graboid.
It's a,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Graboids wishes they could be this.
Well, yeah, it's just a really big graboid.
It's a worm.
Yeah, that eats vibrations. That's it?
It eats whatever. They're just really ill-tempered.
Okay.
That's all you can tell.
They're
It's not
fussy.
like mad or anything like, fuck you guys for fucking up my plan. It's not like thinking. It's just hungry. And it's going to eat this harvester.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't like it that it's picking up its shit.
That's actually... Yeah.
Right.
It eats its own poop. Kind of.
Kind of.
So it's hungry.
Yeah.
It's like, that thing is...
It's a shit eater.
Yep.
It's whatever.
Okay.
He's a good dog other than that.
And then the fucking Duke vows revenge. Like, right, I'll do you for that.
Yeah, they're like, how could this have happened? I'm like, I'm not really sure what happened.
It seems like this happens all the fucking time, guys. There's just a fucking sandworm that comes up and eats shit. Like you talked about it earlier in the film. Remember that part? Ha! I'll get you, sandworm.
Also, Brunson Pronchow and Max Van Sydow's characters seem to be really bonding in this scene.
Yeah, they're blown out.
So you're going to be like, oh, what are they going to do later? Probably both die.
Yeah. So Paul gets some of the spice and eats it. And he trips balls pretty bad. And then a flying syringe comes in, an assassin's weapon, I guess.
It's called a hunter seeker.
A hunter seeker.
It can't see me if I don't move.
Okay.
It's a Tyrannosaurus syringe.
Right. So somebody's trying to kill him, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Who?
The Emperor and the Spacing Guild. Still.
Why don't they just like fucking shoot him?
That's what they're doing here.
They didn't do it.
Nope. They missed.
Yeah, because his cleaning lady shows up and she's like, hey, I was here to change your towels. And, oh my God, assassin's needle.
Another one of my favorite weirdly delivered lines is this one. I am the Shadow Mapes, the housekeeper.
The housekeeper.
Yeah, I thought
Have
she
towels?
was...
Because otherwise you're just peeking in on me.
Yeah, right.
I kind of thought that she was going to reveal that she was like the queen of the blue-eyed people.
Yeah, or
She
like
kind
she
of
was-
is in the
she
book, maybe.
was
Not
gonna
really.
give him some new powers. Like she's got powers. Like she's kind of Teen Witch's apprentice or a mentor type thing. She's just like,
You're like, oh, this is... And it's
I
Linda
seriously
Hunt.
wanted to change your sheets, but now I'm not going to because somebody's trying to kill you.
Yeah. And she's going to pay her debts because she's Fremen. She's got a life bond with them now. She's totally not going to die in like 2 scenes.
Right.
No, she dies in like 2 scenes.
She's like too soon. Later, the Duke, his dad, he gets shot by Dean Stockwell with, I guess, a needle. Like,
It looks like a trank gun of some sort.
Trank. He's like, hey, so here's the thing. I'm a traitor, I guess.
Yeah.
Brought down the shields, the space shields, or planet shields. So now the Harkonians are coming.
Yeah.
And you are going to kill the Harkonian by having a cyanide capsule embedded in your teeth that you crunch down on and blows up in the Harkonian's face and will poison you both to death. How about that?
In a roundabout way, yes.
What's his motivation?
They stole his wife and they broke his Imperial training.
So he's going to kill his friend and his friend's enemy? Like, pick a side, bruh.
He's going to kill them both, but spare Paul and Jessica because there's goodness is still in him.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that who puts the spacesuits in?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why there's the diamond on the carved into the ship.
Okay.
That's why she says, "Yeah," in her inner monologue so many times during that sequence.
Yeah, so the Harkonians show up, and they start blowing the fucking hell out of everything. Lasering guys, dropping bombs, blowing the fucking shit to smithers, and then sending an invading force of what appear to be hazmat suit guys.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that?
Oh, no, that's the Spacing Guild's costumes were body bags that were repurposed, and that nobody told the actors until ex post facto that there was real dead people in them at one point.
Gross!
Super gross! But yeah, this is like the Harkonnen army, which is later the Emperor's army, because they didn't do the Sedukar, they just mention it 3 times without actually putting a different army in. So yeah, we got these like trash bag guys fighting boxes.
Right.
And then Duncan motherfucking Idaho shows up.
Hey, what's up? Ready to kick ass?
And they're like, oh my god, that's a sword master of the Genaz. He's going to kill us all. And then he does. No, he dies indignantly. And
he never has a sword. He has a gun.
He doesn't even shoot it.
No.
And then the shield gets shot and the bullet just goes slowly into his head and he dies. I was like, what the fuck do these shields even do?
They literally are cardboard boxes. What a piece of crap. Like, why even bother if it's just, it's coming through the shield. And then your brain get liquefied.
Yeah. Even at like 8 or 10, I know I'm supposed to like Duncan Idaho. I don't know why. Then you read this later and you're like, how did you fuck that up so bad?
Yeah, my note is Duncan Idaho gets shot in the face. Oh, no?
Yeah.
Do I care?
Dude,
I don't
you're
think I care.
supposed to. You've been told they put in Richard Jordan. Every time somebody's like, Duncan, you're here.
Duncan's here.
And then he has a really emergent dude shot in this
like
door,
he's fucking Gandalf or something.
Yeah, right before he gets shot. And you're like, oh, he's going to kick some ass. And he just doesn't. He just dies.
He might as well have tripped over something and just landed on a spike.
Right. Everybody, whoa!
And you're like, well, how would this amazing battle... And in off-screen, he dies by killing like 13 of the toughest warriors in the universe before they finally drag his ass down. You're like, Duncan Idaho is the fucking man.
Not so much here.
No, he's just some guy that gets shot.
Right.
The fucking protagonist of the entire series is some guy who just gets fucking shot.
And the family gets captured as well. The wife and, I guess the concubine and
Lady Jessica
and Paul.
Yep.
So, okay. Yeah, John Luke's not doing a good job with his battle pug because they're getting their ass kicked, kind of.
He leads a charge with the pug.
Right, but everybody's getting dead and captured and shit.
Well, they aren't turning on their boxes. When they turn on their boxes don't work. I didn't see one of them pull a trigger on a gun ever or pull a knife. Yeah. 2 of them jumped at people who just threw them into a rock and then died. And the trash bag men are actually using guns periodically, so it's just a little one-sided.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Paul uses the weirding way, I guess, on his captors, and then takes over the flying hot dog that they're in, and crashes it eventually. So they're free. But while that's going down, Dad Duke bites down on the tooth and ends up poisoning Brad DeReef.
Yeah, he's too fucked up on drugs. He can't tell who's who, and he uses the tooth on the wrong guy.
Okay. Brad DeReef's death is fantastically stupid.
It was really because you get Dean Stockwell, him turning it to 100, turning it to 11 on his death. He's like spitting everywhere.
Right.
It was like, I still like love that. Like, man, that's dying on screen right there. And so Brad DeReef's like, I saw him do that, so all I can do is go, yeah, and fall over,
backwards.
And it works. Like, because he does like
silly.
a little weird, pops his eyes out almost, shakes a little bit, and goes, wah! And then falls over. You're like, fuck yeah, man.
Like 2 seconds after getting that poison blown in his face.
Yeah, it was great.
That's hilarious. So they're crashed the hot dog into the Forbidden Zone. And after taking a really long time to vow his revenge upon his enemies for killing his dad, they head over to a big rock. But
it's not
on the way to the rock, there's a sandworm
Yeah.
that will hear them. So they got to like trick it with these thumpers, I guess. They're like
Yeah.
little bass pods that you put in the ground.
Yeah, it's just, it makes a solid rhythm and that attracts the worm.
Okay, so they can run away.
And if they walk without rhythm, then how do you walk? I mean, I guess you can walk with rhythm, but it's
Good thing you're not groovy, Mom.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like you're going to have to try harder to walk with rhythm during a sandstorm.
I mean, if my mom was Paula Abdul, she wouldn't have made it the first day.
Yeah. If Quincy Jones was there, they're fucking dead.
You know, because, it's Paula Abdul. She's a great dancer.
Yep.
She was a Laker girl. How about that?
Why can't these worms have costumes?
Like little hats?
Yeah, exactly. Little hats.
They wear men as little hats later.
Right.
And maybe, like they could be colored, like some could have spots. So we could tell the worms apart.
Because the worms have to have character. They can't just be giant death machines.
Make it more interesting.
I don't think it would. I think it would make it pretty ridiculous.
If one of them was playing the piano by just mashing itself against the keys because it doesn't have fingers. Like, why don't these worms have costumes? What, a tube? There's not anything. It's a rod that wiggles. You can't do a lot there.
Do you know, we got a request that the worms wear costumes. Can we do that?
Do we have any more tubes? Yep. Yeah, why is that worm in a tube? I don't know.
It's outfit. It's like it's bath towel. Oh, Jackie, you were so strange. So the worm charges them, and they're up on the rock, and then it like bashes the rock because I guess it doesn't care about the thumper, and it knocks Paul off the rock, and Paul eats shit pretty goddamn hard.
But he's okay.
He catches his whole foot into some rocks and then falls forward. He would have snapped that leg off.
And like he's bouncing off the wall of this mountain like Homer Simpson fall.
At one point, it seems like he falls 10 stories.
Right?
But then he's just sort of sliding down a rock again.
I didn't know this was one of your superpowers, Paul.
Yeah. This part just didn't cut together very good.
No.
Yeah, you weren't that high up.
They needed to, for all the things they took out, 3 of these shots could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he slides down the rock, you see him land on the face. I believe it.
Yeah.
Not all of these other shots of him falling forever.
But either way, at the end of the day, the worm leaves because it heard another thumper, which means they're not alone.
Yeah.
Because, skip to that, it's the Fremen.
Stilgar.
Yeah. Big Ed Hurley from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Fremen.
Stilgar.
Big Ed Hurley.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Fremen. You just did that, Sam.
I know.
Stilgar is a good name.
I like to say Stilgar.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah. Strong.
Stilgar.
So then there's some bullshit dialogue here about the Fremen ways and that we don't need the woman for whatever he's like. Says no tribe ever.
Right.
We'll take the boy, but not the, no.
I'm pretty sure you like the women.
The women are the ones that, whatever. So it looks like it's going to go south, so she uses the weirding way. Isn't that the thing that you attach to your neck and use sound to blow things up? Yes. Or it's just grabbing a guy's throat.
It's just choking a man.
Just choking a man.
Hey, that's pretty weird, Dingway.
Well, you can get the strongest of us, so you're welcome too. Then they all, the guy from Pee-wee's Big Adventure that is in the car.
Right.
He has longer scenes and other cuts. In this, he just gets punched in the face. You never see him again.
True.
Bye.
You guys are cool or weird or I don't know, weirding cool. So why don't you live here now? Also, change your names.
Yeah. And this is the first of like 10 scenes where Sean Young talks to Paul and he just stands there with a boner and doesn't say anything back.
Her entire character. She reveals nothing to the plot. She's just like, you are awesome, and we should do it.
Or she asks him questions that he doesn't answer. I feel like they're married for about a year before he says one fucking word to her.
Right. She's a total prop, man.
And we find out that they have thousands and thousands of gallons of water.
Tons and tons of water underneath the rocks or something.
Never pays off.
That they're saving because they're going to change Dune forever with it.
Well, I think that they should just, what are you going to do with all this water? And he goes, drink it. It's a desert, man.
It's Evian.
Thirsty work being a Fremen.
And the mom had her baby. It's a girl, but now I guess the mom is now like the king of or the queen of witches.
So their witch queen or their head witch is dying. So she drinks the water of life to become the head witch.
Okay.
She doesn't tell anybody she's pregnant. So the baby also gets the water of life, which is kind of an abomination. Kind of a bad. She's like, oh. If you really like look up the stack of shit that she has done wrong by this time, it's like, we gave birth to the boy, you totally betrayed the order and like fucked up 1,000-year plan, and now you're just gonna be like, fuck it, I'll give birth to an abomination. Why the hell?
Yeah, why the hell
At
not?
this point, I've given the weirding way, our ancient martial art, to these other people that don't need to have it. Why not this too?
Yeah.
Why not this too?
Checklist complete.
Well, we needed this little girl
Yeah.
at the end. She really made the movie for me.
What? I have a question. Okay, so the Duke had a man, like a man, like he's my man, like a manservant, not like take care. You gotta stand by your man type thing.
He's got a right-hand man.
Yeah, he's got a man. And this man has been captured by the Baron, and puts a heart plug in him because he's a bad guy, but then tells him, take care of this cat and milk it, or I'm going to pull out your heart plug.
No, he doesn't say. He says, you have a heart plug now. Everybody's got one. Also, you're poisoned. And the only cure is milking cats.
I'm sorry, what is this very overly elaborate plot to piss me off, I guess?
Well,
is that it?
Well, this is the what has happened to Thurfer Highwatt.
Oh, my God, Jesus, Sam.
Well, I liked how the cat had a mouse also taped to the side of it.
What's the mouse doing?
Why is there a mouse tapped to the milk cat?
Why does the milk cat have two of its legs trapped in the side of the cage?
It's in like a radio box.
With
this is
electric
the
lights.
Weirdest part of this whole fucking movie, and Sting's like, I'm diabolical.
Can I just stab him?
Milking a cat. What the fuck? What the fuck, David Lynch?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Plight of Thurfer Highwatt.
Oh my God. Strange things. Okay, so Paul teaches the Fremen the weirding way and gives them laser guns, basically. So now they're all cool. They're like, dude, sweet. I'm really glad that you lived here.
They're voice-activated laser guns.
You don't like... They're on your hand.
No, you have to go, ha-cha!
Why?
Because
It doesn't
the
work.
other part of the gun is on your throat.
Why?
the
Why
weirding
can't it just
module.
have a trigger?
It's voice-activated.
That's
You're like,
dumb.
Gun, shoot, and it's like, ordering you pizza. That's why they don't have voice-activated guns.
Playing songs by Stevie Wonder.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, and the power of your explosion is determined by the sweetness of your hacha. That guy's got a sweet hacha. He just blew up a car.
This movie is questionable as far as its writing quality.
So I'll go right now. On the weirding way. Man of Steel.
Okay.
With handsome guy.
Yeah, Henry
Cavill. Remember when General Zod's people first get to Earth and they can't fly yet? They don't realize they have that power.
Right.
But they like move super fast.
Yeah, they're unfamiliar with the powers of the Yellow Sun.
Yes, but they flash across screen and like super strength punching.
Right.
And it looks really sweet.
Yeah.
That is the weirding way.
Moving fast?
Like having that ability. But they didn't know what to do, and so they did this instead because, quote unquote, these things that are strapped to their bellies sometimes. Other times they're just sort of weird cock-looking guns.
Right.
And all of these things are happening this way because David Lynch said, well, I thought Kung Fu on sand dunes would look dumb.
Okay. So voice-activated laser guns.
Yes.
That appear out of nowhere.
Not just voice-activated, voice-powered. So, like, the sweetness of your ha-cha.
Pretty much.
Ha-cha.
That's so dumb. I think it looks stupid as shit.
Not as dumb as Kung Fu.
Right. Oh, my God. And also, there's guns in the rest of the movie that actually shoot and blow stuff up too.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have some of those guns?
Those are also hotshot guns.
No. Like because only Paul and his group know the hotshot. The Baron has guns.
They have guns and missiles,
bombs, and fucking planes that explode stuff. You don't need hotshot. You just need a fucking normal laser gun.
No, hotshot works better.
Yeah, and they fire really slow, and they have a massive recoil, like it throws your arm out of your socket when you hotshot. Yeah.
So if you wanted to go fast, be like,
yeah, like
You don't do it fast.
yeah,
You just make one big hotcha that's like worth about 40 little ones.
okay, all right.
Cha! And then like 5 guys blow up at once, and you save yourself some time.
What happens if you hotshot too hard and you shit your pants?
No, the still suit recycles out into water you can drink later.
True.
All of these things are clearly covered in the plot of this film. Covered bases.
My laser gun is fully loaded, and so are my pants.
Yeah.
All right, so they're like, okay, so are we ready to get this war going or not, Paul? And Paul's like, well, hold on, I got one more thing I got to do. I gotta fucking ride a sandworm.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a man until I ride the worm.
So nobody's, because this is the first time this has ever happened, bud.
No.
This is awesome.
Everybody else rides the sandworm.
Everybody rides a sandworm?
Yeah, that's what they do.
They all have
They got like equipment for it.
the ropes and shit.
Man, I thought this was like the first time anybody, like, they're like, holy shit, that guy's riding a sandworm.
No, the only thing his only world's first is the water of life later.
So why did the Fremen even need the hotshot? They can ride sandworms. They could have gone and fucked up shit on their own, because the thing that fucks up the most shit is the goddamn sandworms.
Yeah, but you got a hotcha on top of it.
No!
It's like icing on the
This
cake. The
war-
hotcha on the worm is icing on the cake.
Yeah, this thing could have all been avoided earlier if the Fremen would be like, dude, we can ride giant fucking sandworms that fuck shit up. Let's fuck this shit up.
Could you imagine the t-shirt you could make that said hotcha sandworm?
Hotcha sandworm.
So many options.
I wrote a sandworm and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pop the sandworm open and it has the weird things that like look tentacly inside. Those are just stretched out condoms.
Oh.
Art department, good job.
And I thought it smelled bad on the outside.
I didn't say they were used. Like the body bags.
Jesus.
They probably were.
They probably
They're
were
using used body bags. Why not use used condoms?
Well, they saved them. They're recycling.
Recyclable condoms.
Yeah.
Strap that thing back on.
This one's used and it has a hole in it. It's a boy. I can pick.
It's me, Dino.
Yeah, Dino. Dino doesn't use condoms.
Oh,
Got like 100 kids.
All of them are beautiful. So he rides the sandworm. They're like, dude, that's sweet. We've been doing that forever, I guess. And he's like, really, guys? Okay. So they go and they start fucking up mines. That's what they're going to do. The years go by. They've been just fucking up the mines. They're bringing the whole spice operation to a standstill.
Yeah.
Not getting revenge. Just fucking up the universal economy.
Phase 1 of revenge.
Making sure that...
Well, here's one deal. This I'm going to give this one a good, not really a hall pass. I think this actually works because the Fremen don't have spaceships or anything. He can't just fly to the Getty Prime and kill the Baron. He needs the Baron to come to him.
Okay. Oh, so it's a lure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So
He's not very good at it if it took 2 years.
yeah, no kidding. And now he wants to drink the water of life because
Was he getting summer vacations?
Because if he does, you get summer vacation.
you get some.
Yeah.
I believe that summer vacation is every day on Dune, Arrakis, the desert planet.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping for a winter vacation because this planet's really warm and it sucks.
I think it's like 170 degrees or something like that in one of the scenes.
Yeah.
So I guess humans are superpowered.
303 degrees.
Not possible.
No, they said they used Kelvin, but it breaks down to about 170 Fahrenheit.
I couldn't make it in 115 in Needles, California.
That's true. So why does he want to drink the water of life?
Because then he will find out if he's the Quetzat Satarak.
He already knows that by sticking his hand in the box and having the superpowers.
No, that's just a good chance it might work.
Maybe you don't need to be the Quetzat Satarak, dude. Like, what is that going to... Oh, I'm the chosen one. Before, I was just going to go fuck off someplace, but now that I'm the chosen one, I guess I'm not.
Because if you aren't the Kwisnak Satarak, you're not going to get a cape at the end. Nobody's just going to give Joe Blow the cape that blew up everything.
So that's what he's in it for, the cape.
Yeah, well,
yeah, did you see that cape? Like where did it even come from?
Yeah, it's the bowling trophy at the end of the season. Well,
plus, I guess there's going to be a lot of Imperial people fall in line if you're the Kwisatz Satarak. A lot of the factions are going to go with you.
Then just lie about it. I am clearly the coolest guy on this fucking universe.
No, you have to be able to pop a guy with like a grape with your voice.
He can shoot lasers with his voice.
No, but he needs equipment for that.
Whatever. He also can tell people to do whatever the fuck he wants.
But the Kwisatz Satarak also can see the things that they can't see. This isn't off screen either. This is happening in the movie. It says that you basically can see into the future.
He's been doing that the whole time.
Well, he's not able to see into the future anymore, so he has to drink more, just to drink the shit, so he can be super guy who sees into the future.
Anyways, so it's basically peyote. He goes on a vision quest and sees into the future, as it were, and now he's the king of the worms too, because like 5 sandworms, while he's laying passed out on the beach, come up and are like,
"Yeah,
that's our guy. That guy's cool.
He rode me first.
Yeah, I was here first. Dibs."
All of a sudden exhibiting some very strange and unexplained powers.
Yeah. So now I guess it's time to fight the Baron finally. Baron's shown up.
Yeah.
I am the Kwisatz Satarak. Neck, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Yeah.
And instead his sister goes in front of the Emperor. She's like, hey, so I'm an abomination.
Uh-huh.
Cool. And my brother is the guy that you've been fighting that's been fucking up your shit this whole time. You thought it was just some rando Fremen. Well, it turns out it's my brother.
It's Paul Atreides.
And they're like, oh my God,
like,
mind blown.
Fuck me sideways. That's what the Emperor says. He's like, shit. Knew I should have had a better breakfast because I'm probably going to die now.
Well, and they all fuck off. But she's like, wait for my brother, Baron. And I don't know why they keep going back to that. Is that something in the book?
What do you mean?
She's like, the fight's going on, and they keep cutting back to her, and she's like, wait for my brother, Baron.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, like, what happens is what happens. Like,
right.
She shit talks him for a while and then kills his ass.
Right.
And then she stands outside in her bloody glory.
Yeah, there's a
killing
whole,
people with a knife.
The Fremen are fighting. They've blown a hole in the wall, and they're now storming the base with the sandworms and fucking shit up and hotchawing.
There's a lot of hotchawing. There's guys with belly hotchaws. It's dumb.
Virginia Madsen's out there hotchawing?
No, she's not. She's inside watching the Baron.
Oh, yeah. No, not Virginia Madsen. Somebody.
Sean Young.
Sean Young.
She's hotchawing. Yeah. She's doing a lot of hotchawing. But
I was not impressed with her hotchaw.
I was impressed with other things, apparently.
Okay, so then his sister pokes a fucking hole in the Baron, who floats away like a goddamn deflating balloon.
No, she scratches him with her poison fingernail needle.
Okay. Yeah.
And then she pulls the gas giving
he's got some tubes in him, and she yanks those.
He's a deflating balloon. At the end of the day, you can call it what you want, Jackie, but he's a deflating balloon. You try to justify it in the rationality of the movie. He's swinging around the room going...
Apparently, inadvertently, Paul blows a hole in the wall.
Right.
And then he gets sucked out of it, but nobody else gets sucked out of it.
And the sandworm's like, oh, tasty.
Yeah, he gets in a sandworm.
I don't think that sandworm noticed that guy. He's too small. The sandworms are fucking huge.
That's what everybody didn't even eat, and he just gets in a sandworm.
He just ends up in a sandworm.
Yeah.
He's probably not even dead.
Well, the poison.
Poison, yeah. Yeah. Unless you're scared. I don't know. Fuck.
Well, then maybe it was different poison.
Either way, that sandworm's going to have to go to the dentist to get him picked out of his teeth.
Maybe, or he just poops them out. And then he becomes spice.
Not really. Yeah, it's more complicated than that.
Pretty complicated. Okay, so Paul goes and faces the Emperor, but he's like, dude, I'm here to fuck you're a jerk, Emperor. And the Emperor's like, yeah, I kind of am. I'm kind of a d-bag. But anyways, Sting's here. He's gonna fight you, and they have a big fight. And Sting dies by getting stabbed in the neck, and then torn open by the power of one man's voice.
Yeah, and then he's like, I fought him fair, just to show you guys I can kick his ass. BTW, I have the voice of God now.
Yeah,
I could have popped all of you like grapes.
I'm the hand of God, in fact.
Yeah. I'm also just gonna make it rain. Real
Bitches.
rain with my God power.
So start
these
taking off your
druids-
clothes. Here's some 20s. Different kind of making it rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, then these red monks come up and they give him a sweet-ass king's robe.
Oh, you're the Quetzalcoatl Cataract. Here's your robe.
Kind of. Like, it's cool looking, but all notice it's like knit. It's like somewhere in between a cape and like one of those grandma knit blankets.
So
Yep,
they just have this thing like sitting around,
Yeah.
like I believe that's Mr. Madison's jacket. Like
Yeah.
you just get one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
Maybe they made it for him. It looks knit.
Yeah.
Kind.
So he's the hand of God now, and he restores peace to the universe.
And how can this be?
That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Questions?
So I guess if you're a bad king, you should get replaced by a god king?
Right.
Unless you read the other two books. Things go south on Paul Atreides.
Oh, really?
Ooh, yeah, he dies.
Okay, spoiler alert. I'm never going to fucking read them.
No,
There's
like,
a Dune 2.
there's a lot of
There's
Dunes.
children in Dune, too.
So it's funny because Herbert will call it a trilogy.
Okay.
And it should have been. Because Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune, like at the end of this, him and Chani have kids. Those kids are tyrannical fucks.
Okay. Some little Joffreys.
Aaliyah is a abomination nightmare on the universe.
Okay.
And he sees too much, ends up ripping his eyes out and wandering into the desert.
That's a bad time.
Yeah.
My kids suck. I don't want to deal with this shit
And
anymore.
so, like, the whole point of Dune is like, oh, yeah, we've got the Messiah. Not if you read the other two books, like, no, he's not.
That's
You
almost
don't
like a Greek, like very Homer-esque is what you've just told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
or mythology then.
it's like, no, you shouldn't have leaders. But then he keeps going. And then Leto II becomes like a worm god and lives for 3,000 years and makes humanity a new path. And you're like,
I'm a worm god.
is he a thing? And then Duncan Idaho keeps dying and getting reborn until he becomes a super being. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then the machines come back and they have to have a war with
Oh
them.
god, the Terminators, really?
Yeah, and then Brian Herbert, because Frank Herbert dies. So Brian Herbert and some other guy write the last two that finish this up. And then they wrote some prequels and then include characters from the prequels because they have these things called Golas that are basically just like clones.
Okay.
But then you can get your memory back through genetics or something. And it's so basically they just introduce like immortality and bring everybody back.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't sound very cool.
I'm pretty much out.
The first three,
Yeah.
not bad. Like if you, I would, that's my whole thing with all of Dune is like read the first three.
I'm probably not going to. Jackie, question?
So if you were going to make up your own sound, what would it be?
Oh, to fire your gun?
Yeah.
Knee?
I would do like it would be really like a triple Saudate.
Of course, Adate. Okay. Jackie, what would yours be?
Ooga, ooga.
Nice.
That way I could sexually harass people too as I was doing it.
Yeah. So you just be yourself, basically. What you do now.
Yeah, but I'd have a fucking gun.
Okay. That makes
Just run
sense.
around going pew 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 pew.
Yeah, pew pews.
Tiny hotshots coming at you.
Does Fade actually do anything?
He gets stabbed and popped like a grape.
He doesn't do anything. At no point
Not
in the
even
film
show his wiener.
does he accomplish anything.
I'm with Sam. He didn't even show his wiener. What the fuck? Maybe he'll get a cameo in the new one.
He is supposed to be like, wow, that guy's a badass. He's a bad guy, but he's a badass. Like, he's like the opposite of Duncan Idaho. Just on the other side. Like,
Yeah.
big fucking deal, Fade.
No, in fact, like I think Fade's more of like the protected one. Raban is the sort of he's the dirty work guy.
Sure.
Which is why he eats cow, just pulls pieces off of cows and eats them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Fade kind of blows.
Fade does. Both of the brothers blow.
Right.
And honestly, the Baron isn't cool until you find out his history, which is off screen. Then you actually, like, they make him super disgusting in this movie, and then, like, by the end of reading way too many Dune books, he kind of becomes a little bit of a, like, you have some level of empathy for him.
Sam?
Did it make any fucking sense to you? Because you're probably the person that's seen it the least.
Yeah, I've never had any interest in this movie. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, if I was to write down a synopsis of, without getting into specifics, yeah, it's a simple revenge plot. The rebels are taking down the Emperor, who's overreaching and greedy, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty basic, but like the fucking rules? That I don't fucking understand.
Well, no, they break the rules all the time.
Right.
And the worms don't have any outfits.
And that's a big one.
More tubes in movies.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the mythos of the universe itself. I don't fucking understand.
Yeah. Which I'm sure if it would have been split in half, you probably could have made some sense out of that if this was like 2-hour movies. And then, Sci-Fi Channel was a mini-series if you actually... For those that like
I think it's a mini-series more than anything.
They do.
I think might have worked.
Dune and Children of Dune.
Yeah.
They're not terrible.
Yeah.
They're all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is like, cause through the movie, you're like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, you're trying to grab on to things that you shouldn't be grabbing onto, because ultimately there is just not that much going on.
Not that much as far as a plot.
There's a lot of things going on in the book. They inadvertently have that terminology because it gets so stripped down that those things never go anywhere. So ultimately, it's just not that complicated.
Yeah.
Which is why, interestingly enough, a lot of people are like, well, we're making the Star Wars for adults. And I would think that most people that like this movie still saw it when they were really young.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked it. I like it because I liked it when I was 10.
Right.
I don't hate it now. It's a hot mess.
It's a mess.
It is a hot mess.
Right.
But it still has some fun things, and some of the visuals are really cool.
And
mostly
Hotchaw.
And Hotchaw.
It's also very quotable. I mean, because there's so much stuff in it,
Hotchaw.
the weirding way, and I mean, there's a lot of pop, vernacular that has the lexicon, as it were.
Worm sign.
Yeah, worm sign has entered into our society because of it. Anything else, Jax?
No.
Sam, and Jackie, I guess. I'll ask this to both of you. I don't know why I singled Sam out, because I'm a fucking weirdo. Who hams it up the best? Out of everybody in this film, who is the hammiest that you like?
Can I I'll rephrase my answer into, of the people that aren't the Baron Harkonnen, because he is on full blast all the time and nobody compares to him.
Well, he can be. He's pretty hammy. So
That's what
if
I mean,
he's your favorite, then
I just don't think it's fair to compare everybody else. As I'm saying, they are not like a fire hose of acting.
Yeah,
that guy is a fire hose of acting.
Jackie, who's your favorite hammer upper?
The Mother Witch.
Well, I'm surprised by that.
She does bark like a dog at the end.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I thought she just nailed it when she's like, many men have tried. They've all died.
Yeah, she was pretty. She was a little outlandish.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was, just her mannerisms and, the way that she was.
And her character's just poopy. Like, dude, what's your problem, lady?
Well, I mean, they had off-screen 1,000-year plan get fucked up because a lady fell in love with a dude.
Right. Okay. I want to say it's Jean-Luc, but it's really not. It's fucking Brad Dourif.
Brad Dourif is the one that I would.
He's so much fun every time, but he's not doing a good job in this movie. Usually he's like, maybe Brad Dourif should maybe have some more Oscars. But he's like really handsy. It's like handsy acting. Like he's got all these gestures, like he's speaking with his hands, but the motions of his hands aren't really lining up with the words he's spitting out.
I love him in this thing because there's so many people are doing so much around him that he's like, I'm just going to be a lot different than everyone else.
Right.
And he does, and it's great.
Yeah. I like Brad Dourif. I got an unrelated question.
Sure.
If you, say, were a stalker, and you were also the keyboardist for a band that, say, did the music, quote unquote, for this movie, and say you were obsessed with Patricia Arquette because you met her at a party one time, but she doesn't even know who the fuck you are, so you literally stalk her for fucking years and probably belong in jail and write a song called, not Patricia. Patricia's the one with the big boobs.
Rosanna.
Rosanna.
No, Rosanna's the one with the big boobs.
Oh, the older one.
The older one's Rosanna.
Yeah. Okay, Rosanna. You're right, Rosanna. You're stalking Rosanna Arquette.
I thought they dated in real life.
No.
And then
she didn't even know who the fuck this guy was.
Whatever.
And so you write the song Rosanna, and then in the middle of it, you put in the line, "Meet you all the way." Do-do-do. Where are you meeting her?
More than halfway. You realize that she's not going to meet you halfway. Like, this isn't going to be one of those give and take relations. I'll just do all the work here.
That's exactly what that means.
I will stalk you.
Meet you all the way is what it's saying. Like, you don't even have to show up, lady. I'm going to smell your panties when you're not home.
I'll love you enough for both of us. I am not a fucking psycho.
Okay, well, that clears that one up.
Yeah. So that will bring me to a question, because I actually like the total song at the end. Did you guys like the music?
The theme, it's okay. I could have used more score, but I mean, the theme's fine.
I love
can't
the Brian.
have that be the entire score.
Yeah, I love the Brian Eno theme. I think it is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, but
I think so too.
I could have used a little bit more variety here and there. Final recommendations on Dune, guys. I'm gonna go first. I don't like it. But I'm gonna give it a do. It has to be done. It's film history. It's super important. There is moments here and there, but it just doesn't work for me. It's just too long and too not anything other than a revenge movie, and all this stuff on the side is just like it's fucking too much icing on a cake. Like, hey, I like icing, but this is too much icing. So
I'm going to disagree with you. You can never have too much icing on a cake. And I liked this movie. I'm glad we revisited it. And as an adult, I liked it. I'm going to give it a do.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, it's you either hate it or you love it.
Yeah. I've seen this movie 30 times. I like it. Jackie's allowed to like Flash Gordon. I'm allowed to like this movie.
Right. And it's weird that we keep bringing up Flash Gordon, because there's a lot of blending of these two movies. They're almost very similar in their visuals and theme and just feel.
Do you know both of them?
Yeah. There's a lot of it.
And they're both hot messes. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't like
terrible mat work in both of them.
Like, it's weird that like he's such a thing, because you look at his list of films and it's like he cashed out on the Hannibal thing, right? Those last Hannibal movies he did.
Right.
Those were and those, like, the Hannibal Rising, this Ridley Scott one hit big. He finally got Ridley to work for him, right? Oddly enough, he let the other people do Silence of the Lambs for free. He didn't even charge them for the rights because he didn't think it was going to work.
Huh, nice work.
Yep. Dino. Solid gold, Dino. Yeah. I like the movie, but it's like, do or don't. I was like, you haven't seen Dune?
Right.
That's my other, like, you haven't? Yeah, fuck yeah, to watch it. How have you not seen Dune?
On a revisit, I'll put my do on a revisit. Yeah, if you have, it's been a while and you're like, I wonder if I like Dune, go ahead and check it out. You're not going to be like, that was a waste of my time, even if you hate it. So, yeah, I say it's 3 do's from us. Mm-hmm. All right, speaking of which, thank you, Jack B, for recommending that film, and thanks for being a fan. Speaking of which, we're out of time.
We do have to mention one more thing.
Okay.
This episode is not brought to you by DG Jamaican Cola Champagne.
Okay.
Which is what Justin and I are drinking right now. And I don't want to confuse you at all thinking that we're drinking champagne or cola, because it's neither of those things.
It's not alcoholic either.
Yeah, it's not cola, or it's just like soda, but it's spelled with a K, so maybe it is K-Cola?
But it is literally from Jamaica. We're drinking Jamaica import.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Probably should have led with that one, Sam. Tacking that onto the end of an episode.
That's fine.
We gotta tell people.
I gotta let people know about that. It's such a weird name.
It's like the asterisk at the end of the episode, and then you scroll down to the bottom of our of our metaphorical cliff notes, and there's a disclaimer that says we drank D&G Jamaica Cola champagne.
A lot of names.
So next week, we aren't going to have a movie. We're going to close out our 5th year with our annual year in review episode, where we each rank our 10 favorite films that we watched in the previous year of podcasting, plus our 3 good quote-unquote movies that came out in 2018. So if you want to listen to a compilation episode of our recommendations, that's the one to check out, so you know what to watch. Any final thoughts, guys?
You should call our hotline.
Yeah, call us, email us.
No, shut up.
Facebooks.
Just to wish me happy birthday.
Fubooks.
Sing me a little happy birthday ditty. Keep it short.
Yeah, you've been old for more than a week now, so no.
Doesn't matter. It's my first show back as a young 40-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Hacha.
Swordmaster of the Genaz. It's not in this movie.
Get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.